Oh, I love How Can I Be Sure. That is one great, great song. All the way through, all these different sort of phases in it, it's just it goes all over the place and it's wonderful, and she sings it divinely. I would have loved to have sung that.
If she was in love, you really believed it, and if she was hurting, you could just hear that heartbreak in her throat, and you just had to become aware of, who. You ask yourself, who is that?
Well, being a perfectionist, I think it's, none of us are ever going to reach it, and that's what makes it such a terrible thing, because you're constantly striving to get there, and you're not going to get there.
She was a perfectionist. I don't think she ever really pleased herself, and I think that was the essence of her greatness.
Some people are very free with it, but I would imagine Dusty was not, that she was really striving for that thing, which we never get to. I think she got to perfection, but she probably didn't think so. I think she found it too much pressure being a star. That's my feeling about her. And from what I've heard about her, trying to analyze it, that's what it feels like to me, that she was not particularly happy with it.
It is very difficult on a female, especially a solo artist. I think traveling, spending your life moving from town to town is difficult on anyone, but I think it was difficult on her, and it cost her something, and I think it's something you could hear in her music.
Well, Dusty had great technique. That's the sort of stuff that an audience is not supposed to know about, when, it comes in very handy when you're not absolutely in the best condition. Your voice isn't really quite right and you still have to sing, and that's when your technique comes in. And she had wonderful, wonderful technique, and it was seamless, I could hear it because I'm a singer, but I liked the way I liked her attitude. When I was a little girl, I used to listen to Peggy Lee. Peggy Lee was my favourite singer, and she had some kind of mystery, a kind of strangeness about the way she sang. And for me, Dusty was the modern version of that.
That's your real name?
It's one of them, yeah.
One of them.
It's Mary Isabel Catherine Bernadette O'Brien. It's a funny thing with my name. When I see it written or hear it spoken, it's, I feel disassociated. It's almost another person. But not always. But sometimes when I look at the name or hear it, it's like the song we were talking about.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to associate myself with the song.
First of all, I think Dusty was a lovely name. And Dusty, there was something in her voice that wasn't exactly dusty, but it was kind of husky and sultry and interesting.
The thing I got out of her recording was the importance that she placed on the emotion of the song. I think that's why she could do different, what people want to say are different genres or change direction, and I don't think that it was such a conscious change of directions as it was an emotional. If she liked something in an emotional sense and it was true to her, she could sing it, whether it was a Motown thing or a skiffle thing or a country or a pop thing. I think her music was, the motor behind all that stuff was her heart and her emotions and her belief in what she was singing, and I think that gave her the power to do lots of different things, and all those things worked.
There's a kind of funkiness to her that was, even in her more dramatic moments or softer moments, there was this sassy kind of underlining thing that was right there all the time. I loved it.
Just, I don't know, it's just a nice warm feeling to be appreciated.
Yeah.
Sometimes people appreciate you, or me, or anyone in this particular business, and they like you for what you are and what you do and what you sing, and you might not think, after a performance, say they come and say, you were great, and I didn't think I was great. And it took me several years to learn that it's very important what they think and not quite so important what I think. Because if it makes them happy, that's what I'm in it for, to make them happy.